American Pickers star Frank Fritz's conservator at risk of removal for second time as star continues stroke recovery. Hello everyone, welcome back to my another video. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. American Pickers star Frank Fritz's conservator and guardian face being removed for a second time as they failed to file an annual report. Friends of Frank, 60, filed an emergency appointment of a temporary guardian and conservator for the star on August 18, 2022, claiming his decision-making capacity is impaired after suffering a stroke in July 2021. Court papers exclusively obtained by the U.S. Sun reveal a notice of delinquency for conservatorships was filed on December 1, 2023. Guardian Chris Davis and Conservator Midwest One Bank failed to file an annual report that was due on November 12, 2023. Penalties for failing to file the annual report include a report being made to the presiding judge, the fiduciary eyes being subject to removal, a report being made to the chief judge of the judicial district and the administrator of the judicial branch, and a report being made to the Committee on Professional Ethics and Conduct, which may result in disciplinary action being taken. CQ and we may earning. This isn't the first time the conservator and guardian failed to file the proper paperwork on time. The U.S. Sun previously reported a notice of delinquency for conservatorships was filed on June 2. An inventory report was not filed by the due date of December 12, 2022. The report was filed later that month. Under CONSERVA2RSAIP, the U.S. Sun broke the news that the conservatorship was filed in August 2022. The documents obtained by the U.S. Sun read, because of his stroke, Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired that he is unable to care for his own safety or to provide for necessities such as food, shelter, clothing, or medical care, without which physical injury or illness may occur. Mr. Fritz's decision-making capacity is so impaired that he is unable to make, communicate, or carry out important decisions concerning his own financial affairs. An exhibit was mentioned in the court papers from a doctor, allegedly confirming Frank does not have decisional capacity. The legal papers continued. Decisions must be made for Mr. Fritz's care and placement while he continues to recover and receive treatment for his injuries. Appointment of a guardian and conservator is necessary to avoid immediate harm to him. The petitioner requested a separate longtime friend of Frank's, who has been assisting him in decision-making since the stroke, be his guardian. The guardian has helped Frank with his Crohn's disease treatment and continued physical therapy. He has also helped the former American Pickers star grocery shop, cook, and get him to any activity he feels up to doing. The U.S. Sun previously reported Frank's lawyer filed a will prior to death on October 11, 2023. The filing was made to safekeep the American Pickers star's will, according to Iowa courts. An Iowa judge has reviewed and accepted the will. Frank is estimated to have a $6 million net worth. Frank has improved today, as his pal previously told the U.S. Sun. Frank continues to improve daily. You're never 100% after a stroke, but he's fine. He's aware of what's going on. If you were sitting here right now, you could sit and talk to him. He's the same old Frank. Frank was wheelchair-bound after suffering the stroke, and even had a ramp installed outside his Iowa home. The friend shared, he can walk, but he's always going to need the wheelchair because he can't walk long distances. Basically, you lose motion. He lost motion. A stroke can affect your left or your right side. It affects his right side. The insider said Frank continues to go to outpatient therapy weekly for a few hours. Frank is a private person and enjoys being totally out of the limelight. The biggest misconception about Frank is his health. The source said, he's had a stroke, but he's definitely not debilitated to the point where he can't do anything or do whatever he wants. He doesn't have any problems with that. It's just a change of lifestyle, and it slowed him down. He's the same old Frank. He has a good attitude and a great sense of humor. His mindset is positive. We crack jokes all the time. You gotta make the best of the situation, so he's come to terms with all of that. His mind is right. He's a happy guy and his sense of humor is there. He added that the conservatorship is temporary. Frank Fritz, one of the beloved stars of the History Channel's hit reality television show American Pickers, finds himself at the center of a legal battle that could have significant implications for his personal care and future well-being. This ongoing saga has continued to develop since the star's health crisis, which saw him suffering a severe stroke in 2022, leading to a temporary loss of his ability to care for himself. As the reality star works to recover from his stroke, his legal situation has grown more complex, with his court-appointed conservator now facing the potential risk of removal for the second time in less than a year. The case, which has sparked widespread interest among fans of the show and the public alike, highlights the challenges that celebrities often face when personal health crises intersect with legal and financial matters. For Frank Fritz, the situation has been both physically and emotionally taxing, as it revolves not just around his physical recovery, but also his autonomy and ability to make decisions about his life and finances. The background: Frank Fritz's stroke and medical condition. Frank Fritz, who was one of the original hosts of American Pickers, alongside Mike Wolfe, built a career by traveling across the United States and uncovering valuable antiques from people's personal collections. The duo became well known for their charming personalities, unique expertise in vintage items, and their ability to haggle for treasures in often rural and remote locations. However, in 2022, everything changed when Fritz suffered a debilitating stroke that left him incapacitated for an extended period. The stroke, which occurred in mid-2022, initially forced the reality star to step away from the show, leaving fans of American Pickers wondering about his health and future on the program. His recovery has been slow and ongoing, with Fritz continuing to work through physical therapy and regaining some of his faculties over time. While reports indicate that his condition has improved to some extent, it remains uncertain when or if he will be able to fully regain the health he had before the stroke. During this recovery period, Fritz's legal team moved to appoint a conservator to oversee his financial matters and medical decisions. This arrangement was meant to ensure that Fritz's affairs were handled properly while he focused on healing. But what initially began as a temporary solution has now grown into a more complicated issue involving multiple legal battles. Legal controversy surrounding Frank Fritz's conservatorship. A conservatorship is a legal arrangement in which a court appoints a person or institution to manage the personal, financial, and medical affairs of someone who is deemed unable to do so themselves due to physical or mental limitations. In the case of Frank Fritz, the conservatorship was established to ensure his medical needs were met and that his finances were properly managed during his recovery. However, as the months have passed and Fritz's condition has evolved, the conservatorship has become increasingly controversial. This legal arrangement has faced scrutiny not just from the public, but also from within Fritz's own circle. There have been multiple challenges to the conservatorship, with family members and other interested parties arguing that the arrangement might not be in Fritz's best interest. The most recent development in this saga sees Fritz's conservator, a person appointed by the court, facing the prospect of being removed from the role due to disagreements over how the arrangement details of the disputes remain private. The ongoing legal battle has drawn attention to the broader issue of celebrity conservatorships and the balance between personal autonomy and protection. Legal experts note that conservatorships are often put in place to safeguard vulnerable individuals, but they can also raise questions about control and the potential for abuse. The risk of conservator removal for Frank Fritz is particularly significant because it marks the second time in less than a year that such a motion has been filed. The first attempt occurred when family members and others close to Fritz raised concerns about the management of his finances and well-being, suggesting that the conservator was not acting in Fritz's best interest. While the court initially ruled against the removal, the ongoing tension has only escalated since then, with Fritz's recovery process adding further complexity to the situation. The impact on Frank Fritz's recovery. As Frank Fritz continues his recovery from the stroke, the legal situation surrounding his conservatorship has only added stress to an already challenging time. Experts in both health and law agree that dealing with a publicized legal battle can have a significant impact on the mental and emotional health of the individual at the center of it. Recovery from a stroke is a lengthy process that requires not just physical therapy, but also mental resilience and stability. For someone like Fritz, whose career has revolved around his public persona and ability to connect with people, the added pressure of legal disputes has complicated his journey back to health. Sources close to the situation have suggested that Fritz is frustrated by the ongoing legal entanglements and that his primary focus is on healing and returning to a semblance of normalcy. Those who have been in contact with the star during his recovery have noted that he is eager to regain control over his own life and future, which includes regaining independence from the conservatorship, public perception, and media coverage. The legal disputes over Frank Fritz's conservatorship have also sparked an outpouring of support from fans and the media, many of whom have expressed concern about the star's well-being. The public's fascination with the situation has only increased as new developments continue to unfold, with fans on social media offering their opinions and messages of support to Fritz as he navigates these difficult challenges. As a reality television star, Frank Fritz has always been known for his down-to-earth, relatable personality, and this has translated into a loyal fan base that is emotionally invested in his recovery. Many fans have voiced their opinions on the matter, with some supporting the conservatorship as a necessary step for Fritz's well-being, while others question whether it is being used in a way that limits his autonomy. The ongoing media coverage of the case has raised important questions about the ethics of conservatorships, particularly for public figures who may be under greater scrutiny than the average person. Legal experts weigh in. Legal experts who have followed the case closely have noted that conservatorships can be a double-edged sword. While they are designed to protect individuals who are unable to care for themselves, they can sometimes lead to a loss of personal agency. In the case of Frank Fritz, the conflict surrounding his conservatorship highlights the challenges that arise when a public figure's health issues intersect with legal matters that are often kept private. One key issue that has been raised by those close to the situation is the question of whether Fritz is truly incapable of managing his own affairs. His recovery has been slow but steady, and as more time passes, the question of whether the conservatorship is still necessary continues to be hotly debated. Fritz's supporters argue that as he regains his strength, he should be given more autonomy and the opportunity to manage his own life once again. On the other hand, there are those who believe that Fritz's stroke left him vulnerable and that a conservatorship is still necessary to ensure his long-term stability. The complexity of the case is compounded by the emotional ties that family members and close friends have to the star, with each side offering their own perspective on what is best for Fritz. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, America Trends 24, and stay with us.